John 4 is super personal to me. The royal official came to Jesus desperate because his son was dying. He begged Jesus, "Sir, come down before my child dies." And in his mind, Jesus had to physically come to his house for his son to live. Instead, Jesus simply said, "Go your way, your son lives." Then John records something that has brought me to tears more than one time. The man believed the word that Jesus spoke to him and went his way. He didn't have proof. He didn't have confirmation. He didn't watch the miracle happen. He didn't have a doctor telling him that his son was going to be okay. He had the word of Jesus. And reading that passage took me back to one of the hardest seasons of my life. My son had been diagnosed with 3 different stomach diseases. He wasn't growing, his growth chart continued to decline, and every doctor's appointment brought me so much concern. Watching your child slowly get worse while feeling completely helpless is a pain that I cannot describe. So I chose to fast for an entire week. I spent hours and hours every single day praying and reading the word and crying out to God. I wasn't looking for an easy answer. I just wanted to hear his voice. And at the end of that week, I believe that God spoke something into my heart. I heard the words, "I hold your son." That was my John 4 moment. Just like the royal official, I had to decide whether I would believe his word before I saw the miracle. I didn't have another doctor report. I didn't have the test results telling me everything is going to be okay. I did not have visible evidence that my son was going to get better. I only had the word of Jesus, and after seeking the Lord with everything I had, I believed he was leading me to take my son off the medications that I felt would cause his body to become dependent on them rather than address what was truly needed. That wasn't a decision that I made lightly either. It came after days of surrender, prayer, and fasting before God. I had a choice to make. Was I going to trust what I see, or would I trust what God has spoken to me? Today, years later, my son is healthy. He's growing, he's thriving. And looking back, I realized the greatest lesson wasn't just that God could heal my son. It was that he taught me to trust his word before I ever saw the outcome. The royal official believed first and saw a miracle later. And I believe that's still how God grows our faith today. Sometimes he doesn't give us all the answers. Sometimes he simply says, "Trust me." And in those moments, we have to decide whether his word is enough.